Hey, what's up guys? It's Marquez from the MKBHD channel with a video for the TLD Today channel. So no, you're on the right channel. You're not seeing things. But today is one of the most important days of the year for Google. Every year around the same time in winter, they introduce the next version of Android. And this year, today, there's a hurricane outside. So they canceled the event, but they announced and published their new products anyway. Today they announced 3 new products: the Nexus 4, the Nexus 7, and the Nexus 10. So these are the 3 new products that are launching as the flagship devices for Android 4.2, which is still Jelly Bean. It's not Key Lime Pie or anything, but 4.2 is launching on all 3 of these new devices, and it has some neat improvements. One thing it has is a quick settings toggle in the notification tray. So if you want to switch your Wi-Fi or your brightness or your data on and off, little quick things like that, you can swipe down the notification bar with 2 fingers to access it, or you can swipe down and tap the notification tray, and that'll be able to give you all your quick settings. Android 4.2 also has some Google Now improvements, and Google Now is in the Play Store, so if you have a Jelly Bean device right now, you can grab it. But basically, it introduces integration with Gmail, so you'll be able to look through your Gmail messages, and if you have, say, a hotel confirmation or a flight number in there, it'll be able to give you a card for when those things are relevant. So if you fly to a new city and it sees in your Gmail that you have a hotel reservation, it'll go ahead and show you the card and your reservation status. It's pretty neat stuff. So the Nexus 4 is the first device that it's being launched with, and it's the phone. It is a 4.7-inch 1280 by 768 display, IPS display with Gorilla Glass 2 on the front, and it looks very, very similar, strikingly similar in fact, to the Nexus from Samsung, the Galaxy Nexus. It has the same clean front, the same general design, but it's more flat on the back because it's not a curved glass display. Now it's a sealed back, so there's no expandable storage, and there's an 8GB and a 16GB version, but it's sealed to give you a 9.1mm chassis, so it's pretty thin, and it's flat, and it also gives you an 8-megapixel camera on the back with LED flash and a 2,100 mAh battery. And powering all this is 2GB of RAM and a Snapdragon S4 Pro, which, as we all know, is pretty much the fastest chip out there. It's going to be powering this guy with Android 4.2 and Project Butter. It's going to be really fast. There isn't going to be any LTE version of the Nexus 4, so if you're looking forward to getting the next Nexus on Verizon, it's not happening this year. There is no Nexus 4 on Verizon. But if you're looking forward to getting it unlocked or on any other GSM or HSPA Plus carrier, you are all set. You can grab one for $300 in the Play Store for the 8GB version, or if you want 16 gigs, you can get that for $100 extra. The next step up in the lineup is the Nexus 7, and we're already kind of familiar with this. It's a tablet, 7-inch tablet. We've seen it for a while now. 1280 by 800. It's more of their mid-range price and lower-end tablet. Well, they're officially dropping the 8GB version of the Nexus 7, so you can get for $200 a 16GB Nexus 7, and the now 32GB Nexus 7 is being introduced to fill in that $250 price tag, and you can also get an HSPA Plus 3G version of the Nexus 7. So if you want an unlocked 32GB 3G HSPA Plus Nexus 7, that's $300. That's pretty cheap by itself in the Play Store, and that's going to be available very soon as well. And last, but certainly not least, is the Samsung Nexus 10. So LG partnered with Google to make the Nexus 4, Asus partnered with Google to make the Nexus 7, and now the Nexus 10 is with Samsung, and it is rocking a 2560 by 1600 10-inch display. That is magnificent. It seems like this is pretty much the most powerful tablet you can get out there, including the specs. So it's rocking a new Samsung Exynos processor. It's a dual-core chip at 1.5 gigahertz, and according to Google, it's the only chip they could find that could power this many pixels at once. It also has 2 gigs of RAM. It also has 4.2 Jelly Bean, just like we said, and it's really, really thin, and it's less than 700 grams, so it's a very light tablet as well. It has a 5-megapixel camera on the back, and I don't usually condone taking pictures with tablets, but what's neat is it has front-facing speakers. So watching videos and consuming media, YouTube videos, movies and stuff on airplanes, whatever you're doing with the speakers on this tablet, they're going to be front-facing instead of the usual back-facing, which is really smart. And this is an awesome tablet, awesome media-consuming experience with that incredibly high-resolution display. It's 300 ppi, which is the same resolution as this 30-inch display behind me and the same as the 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro. It's crazy high, and it's one of the most beautiful products out that Google's ever made. So since there was no actual Google event today because of the hurricane, we weren't able to see most of the features of Android 4.2 Jelly Bean demoed on video because Google usually does great demos of those things, but there are some new things that we already know are going to be implemented. So for example, Android 4.2's new Gmail, which finally has pinch to zoom. We talked about the quick settings panel and Google Now improvements. Now it also appears that Google Chrome is the new default browser, so there's no browser and going to the market to get Chrome. Chrome comes pre-installed, just like on the Nexus 7. And it has this really neat feature called Photosphere, which is more than just panorama, but you can basically start by taking a picture and then slowly tilting around and taking a spherical photo of all your surroundings. So it's way more than panorama. It can take, 20, 30 megapixel photos using the 8 megapixel camera on the back of the Nexus 4, and basically stitches them all together to create a really good looking portrait of what's around you. And all of this retains its buttery smoothness, of course, with Project Butter and Jelly Bean, and overall it looks like this is going to be a pretty awesome OS update, and I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how many devices this gets pushed out to, because we all know that's not going to be every device, but hopefully as many as possible. Either way, if you're looking forward to a full review of Android 4.2 Jelly Bean, you can check out the MKBHD channel. It's youtube.com/MKBHD, and I'll be uploading a video of that pretty shortly on all of literally every single feature of Android 4.2. But until then, this has been MKBHD. You can check out the Galaxy Note 2 or iPhone 5 giveaway that TLD Today and I are kind of collaborating on. And outside of that, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys maybe later. Peace.